House. The third straight season the Oklahoma Sooners are playing in their former home on campus in Norman. And tonight they welcome the UAPB Golden Lions. No strangers to the road themselves. This is their fourth game of 11 straight on the road to start the year. With Brendan Manzer, I'm Chad McKee. 4 impact transfers to this Oklahoma roster. What have Xavier Brown and Nigel Pack brought to the table?
Well, first of all, Chad, tremendous experience. Both have played at a high level. Brown at St. Joe's a year ago, one of the best players in the A-10. A Philly kid, so he's tough, but he can score and he can facilitate. Obviously, when that lead guard has that ability, you got a chance every night. And then Nigel Pack, Oklahoma fans obviously familiar with him. His first 2 years spent at K-State, where he was a first-team All-Big 12 performer. He's the type, Chad, that once he hits one, he can get on a heater and score in bunches. But I think when it comes down to for Porter Moser and this really good backcourt is just their experience and their toughness.
Transfers for UAPB as well. Jaquan Scott's on his 4th school. Keon Williams as well. How indicative are these two guys of the talent on this roster?
Well, I think when Solomon Bozeman smiled at you and I when we asked about these two, it says everything. Williams, he looks great. He's in the best shape of his life. He's a physical, tough guard. But I think his leadership is what Coach Bozeman has been most pleased with. And in terms of Scott, I mean, he's really, really talented. He started at Mississippi State. He goes 6'8". He can score all over the floor. Excellent scorer and rebounder. Porter Moser and his staff certainly aware of the things that he can do out there on the floor.
Referees are Todd Austin, Brian Dorsey, and John Johnson. We are set to go. Students are on their feet. It is nearly entirely the student population. McCaslin Fieldhouse, formerly the OU Fieldhouse, home of Oklahoma basketball from 1928 to 1975 when the Lloyd Noble Center took over. And Porter Moser, each of 3 seasons, wanting the experience and the excitement of being on campus for this game and having the students in here. I think we finally got the thumbs up to start the game, Brendan. A little bit of a delay. Here we go. John Johnson's in to toss it up. Mo McGee jumping for Oklahoma. Jaquan Scott for UAPB. And just as we were ready, we're not ready. This is giving the students a chance to get on the referees to start the game, right? Golden Lions will get the first touch here.
Well, it's a great atmosphere. I mean, I know you and I have really enjoyed the last couple of years being able to be a part of this game and this atmosphere.
UAPB 0-3 to start the season. Coming off a matchup out in Los Angeles against LMU over the weekend. Oklahoma trying to bounce back from a loss in a quote-unquote neutral site game in Spokane against Gonzaga. First try is short from Scott. Mo McGee, I mean, his height when Oklahoma had him in the lineup against Gonzaga, they were right in that game. Brendan, he got foul trouble, and they started to struggle.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed through the first couple of games. He's moving better. He's healthy. Looks like he's in great shape. So he can rim protect, but he can also be a good positional defender, as we saw in that last possession.
Here's McGee, gets a little bump, missed it. Padding the rebound stats, goes back up and puts it in. That's the old Moses Malone. You miss it so you can get a rebound and a bucket.
Pad those offensive boards.
And that's something Porter Moser talked to us specifically about. They've got to have more of those offensive rebounds. They want to take more shots than the opponents. Golden Lions get the inbound. This is Milan Charles. Started all 4. He's from France. Played overseas. Now making his home in Pine Bluff. A couple of screens out top for Miraseni, who missed the LMU game, had to sit out after an altercation in the prior game against Portland, and they missed him because he can do things like that.
Yeah, he can really shoot it, and offensively in terms of production, he really looks for the three-point shot. 20 of his 22 attempts so far this year have come from that spot.
Darion Reed gets his dribble shut down. Finds Pack, shot clock down to 13. Reed gonna have to make a play. Late shot clock, 10 to go. Just bangs his way in, had it stripped. Right back up, he goes over the top and down.
Well, I think Coach Moser would certainly like to get a little more point production from Reed, but maybe more importantly, I think he'd like to see him hit the offensive glass and use his athleticism.
There was sending the kick out ball to Williams. He's off the mark with that as it tumbles out of bounds. And UAPB fifth-year head coach Solomon Bozeman, and they were improving each of his first couple of years as head coach. Last year they took a step back. He said it was bad, quite honestly. They were only 6-24. They were down in the bottom in all three major shooting categories: field goal, three-point, free throw shooting. They went out and got some shooters, Brendan.
Well, I guess that is a positive of the portal. You can always go and try to find those, but they are definitely better. They're talented, have good size, length, and are going to shoot it better, of course.
Xavier Brown, beautiful step through for the reverse lay-in, 6'3" Sooners.
Yeah, I love point guards, Chad, that are playmakers, meaning, obviously they can set teammates up, decision make out front. But Brown is a guy that definitely can score, and he scores consistently. In all 32 games a year ago, he was in double figures.
And leading the Sooners in scoring this year at about 18.5 per contest. Miro Senni, not this time. Here's Nigel Pack looking to up the tempo. Brown putting it on the deck, and that's batted out of bounds by Trevon Payton. It'll be Sooner basketball.
Now here's that save on the previous possession. You got to love this if you're Coach Moser. Teammates communicating right there, and Brown able to finish with a little bit of a broken floor.
Xavier Brown, first team All-Atlantic 10 a season ago. And Darian Reed, the Alabama transfer. Nigel Pack.
Yeah. So now, watching, I'm telling you, he's somebody that once he gets that first one to go down, I mean, there's more to come. He's coming off a game where he was 2 of 9 from three-point range against the Zags.
And that's not going to happen very often. First free throw attempts of the game coming right here. As you look in at Nigel Pack. He has started 122 of 123 career games. And this is third stop, as we talked about, in Kansas State, where he was in the Big 12. Then on that run that Miami had under Jim Larrañaga to go to the Final Four, for the first time, Nigel Pack was in the middle of that. Lon Charles, 7 of 8 from the foul line coming in.
Now Charles, just a freshman, which has to be encouraging for Coach Bozeman. But he's made an immediate impact, especially with the injuries that they've had. He's played 30-plus minutes per game in his young career.
Here's Pack. Reed got himself into the air with no real place to go, but he finds Brown. Tay Davis, power dribble, lost it on the way up, but retrieves it, can't finish. Another try, and finally, it's off of Scott out of bounds. The Sooners are going to get a fourth look at it. Sooner head coach Porter Moser, his team coming off that loss against Gonzaga over the weekend. Gonzaga, very big, physical team, he said, but the SEC is big and physical. And he was on his guys about being on the boards. Got to get better that way and share the ball a little more. Only 5 assists in that game for the Sooners.
Yeah, and they didn't play like they're certainly capable, and I think they have a chance to be really good. And so that's why I'm not surprised they'll come out sharp tonight. But yeah, Chad, Porter Moser's teams, they moved the ball didn't stick.
Scott hits the second triple of the night for the Golden Lions, and it's 11-7 Sooners. Open look, corner 3, Davis, no. Williams transitions, a one-man fast break to the rim, and down it goes.
Yeah, and that's where Oklahoma's got to be careful. Is allowing UAPB to get out and run, take a quick shot. That allows them almost to get a built-in outlet pass, get numbers, as you saw Williams finish.
Had 21 against Oklahoma 2 seasons ago when he was at Oklahoma State, did Keon Williams. That one stripped. Miro Senni gliding the other way. UAPB a chance to take the lead on this 3. No. Volley balls around into the hands of Williams, and a reset. UAPB will not back away. They have been on the road. They know what environments like this are tough like. Miro Senni, open look, and he's missed his last 2. Reed surveys, doesn't take it. McGee had it squirt off his hands. Charles transitions and punches it home to tie it at 11.
Well, that's a couple times here in the last couple of possessions, Chad, that Oklahoma's been careless with the basketball. And UAPB, they have nothing to lose. They also have some guys that have some experience. Certainly aren't going to be rattled in any manner here tonight.
That three is short for Reed, and the Golden Lions with a chance to take the lead. Miroseni absorbs contact but finishes the play, and UAPB's got a 9-0 run to grab a 2-point lead. We got a Sooner timeout at McCaslin Fieldhouse. 13-11 UAPB.
A couple turnovers, a missed three from the corner allows UAPB on this run, Chad, but there's Nigel Pack. Coach Moser would like to get him more looks like that. And also remember, we talked about two of their more talented players off the top, Chad. Keon Williams is an original Oklahoma State signee. Jaquan Scott was at Mississippi State. So you have power forward talent on this team, so they certainly don't feel out of place. A good timeout by Coach Moser to get his team settled down.
And he gets Dayton Forsyth and Kowalik into the game. A couple of substitutions. Also, very talented freshman in Kai Rogers, 6'10", about 250 pounds. So multiple changes. Jeff Wonkwo is in there. It's only Xavier Brown amongst the starters still in there right now for Porter Moser's team, and we'll see Jeff Wonkwo line up a pair. Back of the rim and no for Wonkwo. He's originally from Oklahoma City, Putnam City North High School, went to Cowley County Community College, but that was after a stop on the Tulane football team in 2021-22. Physical player, and he can really go. Wonkwo missed all of last season, recuperating from an Achilles tear.
And hopefully he can stay healthy, not just inability to score some, but I think defensively he can really help this perimeter for Oklahoma, because, Chad, what you just mentioned, his physical nature, and that would be a nice piece coming off the bench.
Jaquan Scott short with that one. Xavier Brown pushes for the Sooners. Oklahoma will selectively run when they have the opportunity. Kuala Talk over to Forsyth, putting it on the deck, stripped, but a reach-in foul against Trevon Payton. So this Dayton Forsyth, who had a very good freshman year, just got better and better as the season went along. Had a 25-point game late in the season against Ole Miss. One of those deals that Porter Moser said, okay, get in there and force me not to play you. Give me a reason not to play you, and he never did.
I really was impressed with him. And, you know, saw him in high school, knew he can play, and it takes some time, but really, you know, his progression, especially late in the year when what you alluded to, Chad, against better competition, he became a very important piece on an NCAA tournament team.
Wonkwo's shot gets wiped away by Charles. Here come the Golden Lions with a chance to increase that lead, and it's stripped by Brown. Attacking by himself. Beautiful crossover, and that got him the free lane to score. Little crossover drop to the defender.
Yeah, that was sweet right there. Brown is very smooth in transition and in broken floors. I mean, that was with ease right there. At least he made it appear to be so.
Scott, no. Brown, he's starting to take over this game a little bit as Xavier Brown. 13 apiece. Rogers trapped on the baseline. Threw it away. Keon Williams, one-on-one against Brown. Couple of side steps, stripped by Brown. And picked up by Forsyth. Ahead it comes Rogers. Wonkwo flushes it.
I'll tell you what, that was a terrific defensive play by Brown. Williams kept going right at him, but Brown never committed. Stuck that hand in there to strip it loose.
I would have fallen down, torn an ACL, no telling what, but Brown defended it perfectly. Williams bulldozes in. Wonkwo got a piece of it. They run Charles off the three-point line. And Brown strips another one. Xavier Brown left open, unguarded three. And rebounded by UAPB's Trevon Payton. came from a Division II school, Limestone University in South Carolina, to Trevon Payton. And they announced they were closing the doors for good. Unfortunately, that left him looking for a place to play. And Solomon Bozeman and the Golden Lions are happy to have him. A little entanglement. Walkwo gets tied up with Charles, and Charles hits the deck. Foul against Walkwo. Oklahoma back on top. Little defense creating some points.
UAPB hanging in here tough. There's the block by Charles. But Oklahoma, little defense of their own. Great hands again by Brown. Forsythe hangs tough. Little 2-on-1 finish right here. It's close here in Norman.
Home of Oklahoma Sooner basketball from 1928 to 1975 McCaslin Fieldhouse. It was called OU Fieldhouse when the first game was played here January 13th of 1928. A 45-19 win over Fog Allen's Kansas team. Second biggest margin of defeat in his 38 years at the University of Kansas. Love those socks. If we're going to do throwbacks, we got to go back to the high top pull-up socks like that, right? And Oklahoma playing in a lot of big-time events. This is still the home to Oklahoma volleyball, men's gymnastics, and also wrestling. Still got wrestling and men's gymnastics to come. Oklahoma volleyball just wrapped up the regular season here this past Friday night.
Yeah, tremendous history. And I always enjoy seeing Garfield Hurd's picture and Alvin Adams, some of the early greats for Oklahoma.
Those Bruce Drake teams from back in the day as well, and all of those legendary Oklahoma players are honored with posters all around the McCaslin Fieldhouse. That one knocked away by Miraseni, and he converts the other way. Couldn't convert, beg your pardon, but Keon Williams trails the play and finishes it.
So to me right now, it looks like Oklahoma, I don't know if the right word is surprised, but the length of UAPB. I mean, they have it in about 4 spots outside of Miraseni.
Well, Pat, known as an excellent three-point shooter throughout his career. This should be a very good three-point shooting Oklahoma team. If you look at the track record, the numbers of these guys over their careers. Charles gets run off the three-point line. Miraseni splits a double team. Couldn't get the shot squeezed off. Pulling the trigger is Payton. And Walkwo rebounds.
Well, defensively, Oklahoma is going to have to one-on-one contain at multiple spots all night.
He can do that. Kuala Tok. He made 4 of them in the opener. Then didn't make any at Gonzaga, but can really shoot it.
Well, he can really shoot it, and obviously he is extremely long at 6'9", and you have to be there on the catch or he'll make you pay.
But back the other way, Atak gets pinned in the post by Payton, who goes up and scores. Trevon Payton, you mentioned Limestone University in South Carolina. Been a big leader since he set foot on campus for this UAPB team. Atak off this time. Davis tips it and gets fouled from behind by Jaquan Scott.
Well, a couple threes right here for Oklahoma. You basically get a paint touch right there. Look how quick Pat gets rid of it. Great footwork, knocks down the 3, and then you advance the ball in secondary transition. And Atak right there knocks it down.
Atak has grown 2 inches, gained 20 pounds since he arrived at Oklahoma. Redshirted last year, in essence, to do exactly what we just talked about. That's get a little bigger and stronger. Now, they didn't know he was going to grow 2 inches, but he went away from what was basically not eating breakfast. And now they make sure he eats about every 3 hours. He's put on weight. So wait a minute. You're saying intermittent fasting doesn't work if you don't eat before noon? That's basically what he was doing without knowing he was doing it. Not eating breakfast. Forsythe, no. Scooped up by Payton.
Yeah, I don't think Porter Moser liked that one right there. That's contested without much movement.
Step in 3 by Payton. Good. Golden Lions have made 3 triples, and they have the lead once again at 22-21.
Yeah, and Payton, he was a 39% three-point shooter a year ago at Division II Limestone. So he's obviously had a history of showing he can knock those down.
He's made 6 so far this year. Here's Pack. Boy, quick release, and it's down.
I'm telling you.
It takes no time.
I'm telling you. I mean, he does such a great job of preparing himself to get that quick release as the ball's traveling to him. Footwork, squares up, does it all before the ball gets there.
A little discard underneath. Travis Porcio commits the foul. Let's watch Nigel Pack off the ball, get his shot.
Yeah, and at his size, he has to be able to utilize screens. Watch him go to the middle of the lane, and he probably could have chosen either side. Some coaches call that an IU screen, going to either side. Understands how to utilize screens, how to flare, curl, etc. But if he has any room, especially, here you go, here's another one.
You mean
he's got to knock those down.
Davis couldn't tip it in. Gets his own rebound, and Poe goes back up to score it.
Now Davis, very athletic and versatile. Guy that can guard at multiple spots.
T. Davis began his collegiate career at Seton Hall, then Notre Dame last year. Here's Keon Williams. Fall back for two. No. Davis ignites it the other way. They run Forsythe off the line. Xavier Brown, a three. And Wagee back in there, secures the board. Forsythe bumped. Goes right back at Johnson and draws the foul on Johnson. So Dayton Forsythe will have a couple of free throws to try to extend Oklahoma's 4-point lead with 7:04 to play in the first half. Portal class per ESPN for Porter Moser. We've seen Xavier Brown a lot tonight, and lately it has been Nigel Pack showing you what he can do.
Now watch as the ball's traveling to him, Chad. Boom. See that footwork? He has everything right. Squared up, footwork. 1-2, shoots it in rhythm, and here's a third one. 1-2, and he was coming up the floor. That's difficult to do, but he understands you still have to have balance, go straight up and down. Now Pack, they list him at 5'10", so he's not very big in terms of height as a shooting guard. But the reason he's able to have success is all the things he does prior to reception of the basketball. And then, as we said, you know, once he makes one, he's off and running. He's 3 of 4 here tonight.
And Porter Moser said he came in, had a great summer. Most importantly, no health issues. That was it. Last year, played only 9 games at Miami, coming off that Final Four run the prior year. So he gets to Oklahoma. It really hasn't played in a year, if not more. He's gotten himself into really good shape as the season has come to its beginning, and it has shown up so far. 6-point lead for the Sooners. Their largest has been 7, a little bit earlier. Oklahoma from 3-point range tonight, 4 of 12. And UAPB has been able to knock down 3. That's helped keep them in it. Williams working one-on-one against Tay Davis. Shot clock down to 10. Payton trying to back down the shorter Nigel Pack. Wagee comes over for the double. Miraseni, no. And Wagee springs for the rebound.
Yeah, nice job of Wagee leaving his area to go get that.
Davis gets open, tried to flush it. Williams blocked it. That is high riser against high riser right there.
Yeah, Miraseni right here. Watch, he's going to gamble, misses, but this is great awareness and rotation right there from Williams.
13 on 13. Unlucky for Davis.
And that was a
Williams.
great job, too. Williams used his left hand to mirror the ball.
That hit the rim, nearly went in. Wagee had it stripped. That's what you used to tell your guys. Just throw it up there. I'll go get it.
That was called
You're talking to me?
Yeah, you. No, but you were told that a few times.
Yes, yeah. Just put it up there near the rim. No, I mean, that's really what you're asked to do in those situations. You know, sometimes it's got to be on the right side or the left, but just throw it up there, let those athletic bigs go get it.
Mohamed Wagee began his collegiate career at junior college, then a year at West Virginia, then Alabama, their Final Four year of 2 years ago. He played through injury and then last year coming into the season was trying to get fully healthy, started to get healthy, played a lot when Sam Godwin was sidelined with injury last year, and just got better and better toward the end. He was averaging 9 points and 6 rebounds about the last 5 games.
Yeah, and when Sam went out, he was playing about 25 minutes a game, and I think that's probably what you're going to see this year. I think he's as important of a piece for Oklahoma that there is, and their longevity and the type of season that they have at both ends of the floor.
Williams tied up. Just did get rid of it. Millicenti, good ball fake. He launches way off the mark.
So what's happening right now, Chad, is when you play UAPB, if you can get him in the half court, I alluded to it earlier, it's all about one-on-one containment. Oklahoma doing a much better job keeping in front when UAPB goes into all of their spacing.
8-0 run for the Sooners here the last 2.5 minutes. They have equaled their largest lead of the night at 7. Davis in that mid-post area. Beautiful drop step to the cup and in.
Well, nice little isolation on that elbow. Spacing around Davis there.
Had some big scoring games last year. He had 22 against Houston. You scored 22 against the Kelvin Sampson defense. You had a good night.
Yeah, and I promise you, Kelvin was not happy.
And they brought that up in film study. Millicenti got trapped. Late shot clock. 5 to get one away. Williams does. Hanging. Retrieves it and can't score. Good battle for the rebound. It'll stay here. I think it went off of Nigel Pack.
Yeah, I like this, Chad, because Davis is long and athletic. Look, everybody clears. He just uses his skill set right there. Obviously has a size advantage on Hayes, an experience advantage.
And checking back into Arkansas Pine Bluff is Peyton, number 20.
And then down on this end, Oklahoma didn't get the rebound here, but their defense is much better over the last several minutes. And so you can see, you know, slowly but surely trying to pull away from UAPB.
Shot clock is at 20 here for the Golden Lions. Williams and Davis been going at each other a bunch tonight. Flashing free open as Charles, count the bucket, and a free throw coming.
Basket by Charles.
Yeah, that was a great cut on the weak side by Charles. Williams able to find him right there. That's the first easy look that they've had in several possessions.
Stops an 8-0 Oklahoma run.
Yeah, just confusion by Oklahoma allows Charles to break free.
The conventional three-point play converted, and the Golden Lions able to edge back within 6. 31-25 as we dip under 5 minutes remaining. Opening half here, the student game, McCaslin Fieldhouse, former home of Oklahoma Sooner basketball. Porter Moser's played a game here each of the last 3 years. Dayton Forsythe with the blow-by. He got Scott on his hip and scored.
Did a nice job. Got bumped a couple times, but was not knocked off course. Good little finish right there for Forsythe.
Crowd letting Millicenti know about his inaccuracy with his last couple of threes. Here's Scott pivoting in on the freshman Rogers, and the jump hook drops.
That's a tough shot. I thought actually Rogers right there did a terrific job defensively, keeping front, holding strong, but Scott showing his talent.
Scott, leading scorer for this team coming in, 18 points per night. Using the basket to shield himself from the defender, Tay Davis earns himself a trip to the free throw line. Students have enjoyed it. We are under 4 minutes to go in the opening half on SEC Network Plus. Sellers, who will be back, and Ramel Lloyd Jr. Hopefully the next 2 to 4 weeks, those guys will be back. Until then, they don't have real depth on this roster, and they've traveled a bunch.
Yeah, traveled a bunch, and they can't do much in practice because there's not enough bodies to compete against one another. In fact, Coach Bozeman, he did not substitute off the bench, and it was a little bit under the 11-minute mark. So 9+ minutes, that starting 5 went. So to me, if Oklahoma will close this last segment of the half in a positive way, I mean, they should be able to stretch it out, because you got to think that UAPB is a little bit fatigued.
Going to work is Milan Charles, able to get himself to the window and in.
Charles showing his versatility right there.
Reversed by Reed, and he scores. Reed, a couple of buckets tonight, and there's freshman Kai Rogers in the passing lane. The feed to Reed, can't convert it though. Retrieved by Scott. Want to make the easy ones like that.
You have to finish those bunnies in transition right there.
Williams and Davis get tied up. Possession arrow stays on this end.
Transition. Forsythe, nice job of advancing it up the floor. And then a quick pass to Reed right there. And the finish, Oklahoma, as they progress defensively, Chad, I mean, this is a team that they get stops. They have really good pieces to be a good transition ball club.
Yeah, Porter Moser's talked about it. They have good individual defending pieces. So how do you put that together? Three is good by Wankwo. And a timeout taken by Solomon Bozeman. Not happy that his team did not defend Wankwo on that three ball.
Yeah, this is a great play set up by Oklahoma. Watch Forsythe. He's going to turn the corner, and you drag to help. You basically suck them in. You have Wankwo there on the weak side. And this is a great pass. That's a bullet on the money. Look at that, where he can shoot it in rhythm. And here's a little bump offensively from Oklahoma. Now push this lead up to 11.
Wankwo is a guy that Porter Moser felt like would have played a lot for them last year. The couple of things that they didn't have was really size at the wing positions, and Wankwo could have helped with that. Another guy that would have helped is Jadon Jones, who is still on the roster, hasn't played this year, working his way back from a groin injury, and they hope to have Jadon Jones back here in the next couple of weeks. He's progressing, and we'll hopefully see his first time in a Sooner uniform, but these guys didn't play. Tech and Jones and Wankwo last year, though they were on the roster. Wankwo the rebound there.
And Oklahoma needs another good look right here. You get the quick three out of the timeout. Probably not what Coach Bozeman wanted. Oklahoma needs to counter right here with something positive.
There's a talk, hand in his face. Williams the other way for UAPB. Backing down. Tip no good, and a talk rebounds. .220 to go, first half. Largest lead here for the Sooners is 11. Attack strong with that one. UAPB gonna just try to get a quality shot here. Keon Williams to the posting Scott. Jump hook, no. Pinball's right to Williams. Look what I found. But the height of Rogers forced him to kick it out. Long three, Ahmad Johnson, no.
Yeah, nice job right there. Rogers showing and rotating over a couple times to discourage the drive.
Forsythe lining up a three. Solomon Bozeman going to get his team situated here.
I don't have a problem with that three, but there's been some that have been rushed a little bit. And this is an opportunity right now. Oklahoma's got to convert here and stretch this out.
Xavier Brown got the steal, lacked the finish. That creates a chance for Williams the other way, but he's run off the three-point line. Under a minute to go, first half. Both teams kind of slow as we close out this half. Williams lines up a three. Well off. And Brown dashes the other way with a rebound. Rogers trapped, trying to find Brown cutting. He'll have to retrieve it. 15 to shoot, still plenty of time. Xavier Brown got that one. Good half for Xavier Brown, Brendan.
Tough shot. You know, he is a playmaker right there. And
Brown's got 6 here in the opening half. He's been a factor defensively. Something that Porter Moser challenged Brown and Pack to do was get after defensively.
Yeah, and Oklahoma can foul right there. That's just their 4th team foul, so they have fouls to give here as we close out the half.
You could almost foul out this half without putting UAPB on the line. Still, Sooners have 5 fouls to give. 2 fouls to give, 5 before they put them in the double bonus. Williams looks like he'll take the last shot. Leaning into the corner and hits it. A tough one to close it for Keon Williams and the Golden Lions.
Keon Williams, and halftime has arrived with a score.
That will get UAPB to within 11 at the break. Porter Moser's team headed to the locker room. Golden Lions had the advantage for a time in that first half, but Oklahoma defended and separated. The annual student game here at McCaslin Fieldhouse in Norman. Oklahoma wearing the throwback shooting tops. It may be a throwback night, but it's not a throwback game when you can do things like that. 11-point game at the break.
Combined 5 of 15, those 2 stars for Arkansas Pine Bluff. And Scott's got to get more looks or they won't be able to hang around much longer.
Xavier Brown for Oklahoma didn't shoot it great in the first half, but add to this the fact he had 3 steals when Oklahoma started to separate there in the middle stages of the opening half. Not a very deep team. You see the points in the paint numbers fairly even. Bench scoring is not even. It is 12-0 Oklahoma. That's certainly factored in. This is a limited roster for UAPB. They've had some injuries. Bear in mind all the travel they've had. Bench points 12-0 Oklahoma in the first half, and you feel like that's probably something that will continue for Porter Moser.
Yeah, and I think if, you know, I promise you he talked to them about the defensive end of the floor. You know, number one, you keep them from scoring, but just as important, I think that's going to allow Oklahoma to get out and run a little bit. You have to feel like over time, as the game progresses, that they can wear down Pine Bluff. 3 players, Scott, Charles, no, 4, Williams, Maricini, all played 18-plus minutes in the first half.
And here's one of them, Maricini, starts with the basketball. UAPB trying to get just a good, solid look. Williams hit a tough shot at the buzzer to close the first half. But Oklahoma had the clamps down for about 8 minutes to close the half. Maricini blows past Davis. Doesn't get the bounce. Into the lap of Mo Wegi.
I see what they do here this first offensive possession.
Oh, roll action there by Wegi. He'll earn a trip to the foul line. He and Reed get things going together, and Wegi will shoot a pair.
And much like the first half, that's how Oklahoma started on the offensive end. Little touch to Wegi inside. Porter Moser trying to establish the interior. You know he loves those paint touches, and it's great when your guards can get there after a ball movement. But you got to throw it inside sometimes to the big fella to keep these defenses honest.
Wegi a little short with that one. When he was on the floor against Gonzaga before the foul troubles happened, Oklahoma was +3 with him on the floor. Now, that's not saying that had he not been in foul trouble, they win that game up in Spokane. But when he was on the floor, it was a different type of game.
Well, the Zags are big. I mean, they always have size, particularly at that 4 and 5 spot. And he can negate that, obviously, with his size and athleticism. And like we talked about in the first half, he's moving much better this year, being healthy.
That health, big key.
Also, when you get older, it's important.
Without question, friend. That's a 2 falling away. And a foul inside as Williams hits the deck, and Pack, I think, is going to pick up the personal. So Nigel Pack is headed to the bench with his 3rd foul. Dayton Forsythe replaces him.
Well, here's the miss. You're going to see Pack, and I think it's Keon Williams right there. Kind of an unfortunate break there for Pat getting his third.
Rossetti hit that first one, but he's been pretty cold since then.
Well, it hadn't kept him from continuing.
I love it.
Fire them up.
Keep pulling the trigger. But I think Solomon Bozeman wants that. He feels like this guy's going to be a big shot maker for them. He's a transfer from West Virginia Wesleyan, and they needed another point guard. Trajan Ware, who's out of Pearland, Texas, has been the guy, but he's been hurt. Good hit ahead pass here. Payton, he goes to the window, and it's home.
Well, nice finish right there by Payton. Soft touch. You know, again, you get a quick three and you miss. Obviously, you're going to have those long rebounds, Chad, and allow Pine Bluff to get out and run on that possession.
Reed asks Forsythe to come take it. He finds a seam and hits the bottom of the rim with that one. UAPB trying to push it a little bit. 2 minutes in, half number 2, 10-point game. Ball fake there by Scott. Got it back. Wagee really impacting his progress. Wagee goes down, and that's a good job defensively by the big fella. Maybe you get away with one bump. The second time, Scott picks up an offensive foul. That's 3 on Scott.
Well, they continue to do a great job. We touched on it prior to the second half, and that's just squaring up. Obviously, Wagee is strong, and yeah, great positional defense, and that's what I was mentioning the first half with him. He can rim protect with some size, and when he rotates to help, he seems to be always in good defensive position at that 5 spot.
Davis and Wagee, a little screen and roll. Forsythe, a kick out 3.
So that's where you like Forsythe. And notice the difference in that play versus a couple of others. He's getting looks away from the ball. He can really shoot it.
Ooh, just had a technical foul assessed. More on that in a moment.
And here he is right there. Does a nice job. He slides up just enough to give a better window for that pass, and nice play away from the ball.
So Solomon Bozeman not pictured there because he is a little further up the floor, still having a chat with Todd Austin, who just teed him up. So the Sooners going to get the technical foul shot. Solomon Bozeman got worked up there. Nate Forsythe drops home the tee. He'll get one more, and the Sooners will come back to the other end in just a moment. But Solomon Bozeman, hey, he's going to keep coaching his guys hard.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was watching the other end of the floor at the time.
I saw the reaction from Solomon Bozeman, and the technical foul did not stop him from voicing his opinion after the tee was called. He was hot about something, though.
Kind of like a Major League Baseball manager after getting ejected, continue to
get your money's worth.
Get your money's worth.
But if you get too much money's worth, you get a second foul. Yeah. You get to watch. And Solomon Bozeman, calm, cool, collected guy. He was an assistant coach at Oral Roberts back in 2021. Remember, they were the 15 seed. They beat second-seeded Ohio State and 7th-seeded Florida and went to the Sweet 16. The Golden Eagles did, Brendan.
Max Asmus,
yeah,
became a household name there. You know what stinks, Chad? Those days of low and mid majors making runs like that are going to be few and far between with the change of the landscape.
Yeah, Oral Roberts, such a good program. Oklahoma's going to play them here in about a week or so, and we'll be able to call that game as well. 15-point advantage, the largest of the night for the Sooners. As you said, Miraceni not afraid to continue to firing, and that's why eventually they may drop.
Yeah, that's hey man, sir, the next one's going in.
Reed skips it across. Good ball movement, but Brown turns down what would have been a long 3. Davis gliding to the bucket and finishes it. Scott bumped into him, didn't deter him. He went right back and scored it.
Nice job of Davis right there, just staying with the play.
Sooners hit the half-century mark here and a 14-point lead. That one nearly went out of bounds. Payton collects it, goes to the bucket, ran into a couple of Sooners. And Brown will head the other way. Brown's pass batted out of bounds.
Well, Chad, you accused him the first half of maybe Moses Maloning and patting his offensive rebound stats, but you like his aggressiveness today. And, you know, first and foremost, if you're Porter Moser, what you want out of Davis is just a high motor at both ends of the floor. You've gotten that here tonight. He's been productive.
8 games of 20 points or more a season ago at Notre Dame, and he was 6th in the ACC in field goal percentage. They have a break here. Porter Moser gets Kai Rogers back in there. You know, this is some important time for a guy like Kai Rogers. We talk about Mo McGee and how important he is, but you got to have a little depth behind him, and Rogers certainly looks like he could be some of that depth. There's a nice little slide on the baseline by Kuwal Atak. And we've got a timeout. Somebody lose a shoe.
We have a timeout.
We're going to take a break and sort through it. Oklahoma by 16. 4 minutes into half number 2. Tickets, you know, you show up at a ball game and maybe you got a post in your way.
Fenway, like at Fenway?
Fenway, Wrigley, you know, the old classic stadiums. Miraseni and the Golden Lions looking for some offense here. Williams plows into a pair of Sooners and draws a foul. See if they get Reed or Wankwo.
Well, Oklahoma right now, you know, has a chance to continue to bust this open with, you know, although they've held Scott in check. He's obviously a focal point and draws a lot of attention. He's on the bench with those 3 fouls.
Brown, solid defense, but Miraseni gets his own miss. This is Payton. Extra pass to the corner. Charles run off the 3-point line and feeds inside. Brown lays it up and in.
That's great patience right there by Pine Bluff because they continue to move the basketball. Oklahoma was good defensively for multiple passes and then the breakdown. Nice job offensively from them.
Wankwo lines up a 3. And out of bounds, that one goes. Nigel Pack going to return. He had a good first half. Pack made 3 threes in the first 20 minutes tonight.
You know, Chad, this is the first time I have been able to put my eyes in person on Oklahoma. And obviously we'll have more opportunities. But to me, they're going to continue to get better and better. They play like a group, which is a fact, that hasn't been together long. Not unselfish, just getting to know each other still, particularly on the offensive end.
Charles drops another one home, and that's the case. These guys are, many of them veterans, 2, 3, 4 years. In Pack's case, 5 years, but not with this group around them. Pack trying to throw over a double team. Taken away by Charles. Williams blocked, but a foul call. Atak got it from behind.
Yeah, Oklahoma a little bit careless on that last possession. Pack at midcourt, just over the timeline in that corner. As we talked about, not very big in this UAPB team. They have a lot of length, actually. So they do a nice job getting him in the trap, forcing him into a tough situation, and now a chance to produce some points at the line.
It's the first foul on Tay Davis, and so Keon Williams shooting a pair. I mentioned he had 21 against Oklahoma 2 seasons ago when he was at Oklahoma State. Left Stillwater after Mike Boynton was let go. Wound up at Abilene Christian in the WAC, where he had a good year last year. And then earlier this year against Portland, Brendan, he had 31 and 13 with 4 steals against Portland on the road.
Yeah, when he has his big games, point production wise, he's probably getting into the line. He was 9 of 10 from the charity stripe against Portland.
Davis ran into some traffic, and that foul's going to go against Kyle Brown, UAPB. Foul starting to stack up a little bit. Oklahoma shooting about 43%, UAPB 39. Oklahoma owning the boards so far tonight, 31-23. Feels like a lot of stopping and starting in this game.
Yeah, the game really hasn't had much rhythm at all.
Forsythe trying to dump it into McGee, who just lost it out of bounds. Would you rather have seen him take the shot? Porter Moser saying shoot that ball.
Yeah, he had it deep in the lane right there. And even if McGee gets it, I mean, that's a tight window and not much space. In fact, I think I saw Coach Moser tell Forsythe to shoot that.
They ever have to tell you to shoot more?
No. They did not. Shoot less when I got to Oklahoma State because we had better players.
Get the ball into big country. You heard that a few times. That's a held ball. Davis doing a good job to stay in front of Milan Charles. And we'll go the other way with it. Tay Davis, and you talk about the athleticism he has and the versatility he can give on the defensive end. He can guard just about anybody on the floor.
Well, this team has a chance to be really good defensive. You look at the athleticism and size. You know, Davis, Reed, McGee, Wonkwo. I mean, those are all guys with size and versatility to guard multiple positions outside of McGee. But again, I think, you know, we talked about it in terms of the offensive end still getting to know each other. It's the same defensively, where eventually they will move and guard in unison.
Skip pass was batted away there by Charles. Miraseni hits the deck hard as it's wiped away. The reset here for Keon Williams. And Davis steals his pass. Attack the no-look. McGee, though, couldn't finish it. Davis finds it and is fouled. Little choppy right now. And it's going to be 2 free throws here for Tay Davis.
Well, they're extending their defense, Chad. You see that right there? And what Coach Bozeman wants you to do, and Porter Moser was concerned about that. He talked to us today. UAPB, they're going to switch defenses. They're going to try to get you out of rhythm, which they have done for the most part. And we talked about a few possessions ago, Nigel Pack getting himself in trouble at midcourt. And right there, they bait Oklahoma into that cross-court pass. And Oklahoma, at times, has been a little bit careless with the basketball here tonight. But credit Pine Bluff. I mean, they are good at taking you out of your structure and some of the things you want to do on the offensive end.
Oklahoma 8 of 13 at the foul line so far tonight. And Davis now 1 of 3 at the charity stripe. He's got 10. First Sooner into double digits in this game. And the lead is sitting at 12. Oklahoma. Largest lead, 16. Scott spun to free himself and got a friendly roll here at McCaslin Fieldhouse.
Yeah, nice right there by Scott. Back in there with those 3 fouls. UAPB get a stop or 2 here to close out the next media timeout. But
the great equalizer comes from Nigel Pack, his 4th of the night.
yeah, there's just no substitution for somebody that can light it up from long range.
Miraseni trying to rub off a screen. Scott finding it hard to back down McGee, but the jump hook over his left shoulder drops over the big man.
Yeah, and that's about as deep as he has gotten in terms of back to the basket type play so far tonight.
Approaching the under 12 media timeout. UAPB hanging around in this game. McGee turns it over. Miraseni lines up the triple, and it's down. And Porter Moser takes a timeout on the Sooner sideline. Miraseni's 3rd made 3 in 11 tries on the night. And within 8 are the Golden Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Coach Bozeman has to protect him. But their ball club did a nice job of just hanging in there. And then they get him back in. He scores 4 quick points in the paint. Gives him a little jolt offensively. Certainly some confidence. And now it's under 10.
Token pressure. 3/4 court that time. And a trap in the half court. Davis, kick out to Pack. He's got another one. Nigel Pack, leader of the Pack, knocking down threes.
Was a nice find right there by Davis. There's multiple assists here tonight. A very encouraging performance from him.
Pack has made 4 of his 5 threes. He's got 15 now. He gets the block there on Miraseni. Shot clock is at 5. Williams, one-on-one against Reed. Don't know if they realize the shot clock situation. They do not, and it's a shot clock violation. As Charles didn't get the shot up.
Yeah, that's a great defensive possession. And here's some great offense. Boy, that's the heart of the defense. Look at those defenders. Converge and Pack. Gonna be money from there more times than not.
Nigel Pack leads all scorers with 15 in this ballgame. 5 of 7 from the field. All 5 shots that he's made have been from downtown. He has the Sooners back to an 11-point margin. Packing them down. And I mean, the threes has been Nigel Pack. He's made 5, leads all scorers with 15 tonight.
Well, I love the way he prepares. I've mentioned that. I mean, always good footwork. Look at the balance, straight up and down. We talked about, look, when he gets that first one to go, it's pretty much over. Defensively, he's going to put so much pressure on teams. You know, and he can stretch you out because he has tremendous range as well. So you see the great numbers, 15 points on 5 of 6 from 3. And he's only played 17 minutes. He gets those 2 fouls in the first half, only plays 12 in the first stanza, and he's been limited a little bit here in the second half when he picked up that third.
He's 11 of 24 on the year from 3-point range. You'll take that 40+%. He'll try another heat check, maybe. Keep firing, though. Foul on the rebound. Going to stay on this end. We had a horse collar. Horse collar was indicated. That's 15 yards and a first down, right?
Well, Pack is certainly capable of making that, particularly if he has the hot hand. But your greatest shooters, their threes are going to come away from the basketball. That's where his have come all night tonight.
Brown's been quiet. Can't get that springing high for the backside board. Reed is back up and in.
I mean, just a great job right there by Reed. And that'll please Porter Moser. He needs Reed to become an offensive rebounder, a guy that gets 2, 3, 4 of those a game. Nice play.
He is the 10th McDonald's All-American to play basketball at Oklahoma, the first to transfer in. That's your Blake Griffins, your Trey Youngs recently. There was a left-hander from Tulsa that wore number 23 named Wayman. They wrote songs about him. And then he wrote songs and played them and won Grammy Awards. The great Wayman Tisdale.
Yeah, still the best ever to come out of Oklahoma.
Unbelievable.
I mean the state of Oklahoma. Scored 60 on you and smile at you.
And you'd kind of have to smile too, like, yeah, that was pretty good. So here's Brown. Mentioned he's kind of had a quiet second half. Had 3 steals in the first half that helped Oklahoma get a little bit of separation. Scoring hasn't necessarily been there, but he's got to be that distributor. He's got to be that calming influence. And Porter Moser says he's got to defend, especially you get into SEC play.
Yeah, I'd love for him down the stretch here, just put pressure on Pine Bluff defensively. Hadn't been as aggressive or assertive here in the second half.
9.5 to go. The Sooner lead is back to 15. Largest margin has been 16. Over the top lob. Scott, the good help side defense. Pack taking it the other way. Reed, extra pass. Wonkwo lines it up short. And a rebound by the smallest player on the floor, Miraseni. Miraseni says, I am not bashful, and I can shoot it from everywhere on the floor.
I can, obviously these guys put a lot of effort in playing heavy minutes. He did a great job of using his legs.
Miraceni's 4 of 12 from three-point range. He gets tangled up here with Tay Davis. Now remember, Miraceni got into an altercation in the Portland game 2 games ago, and then because of that, he had to sit out the LMU game. Fiery.
Yeah, and you love players that compete, but you also have to have some maturity. Obviously, he's important to this team, and that can be something that's going to continue to be a challenge for him or Coach Bozeman.
And so Kyle Brown is up off the bench. And Miraceni's going to stay in. Nope, he will come out. He's smiling as he comes over and walks past Solomon Bozeman.
Well, it's smart by, sorry, Chad. That's smart by Coach Bozeman because you get him out, get him settled down a little bit. You're going to be able to get him right back in because you're at the 8:47 mark. You have the under 8 immediate timeout coming. And obviously, you certainly want him down the stretch in the ball game and to try to make this interesting.
Davis strong with that foul shot, though. Elon Charles. Davis staying in front of him. Williams and Nwankwo out top. And a foul call on Brown. So tried to stay in front of Trevon Payton. I don't know. There was a lot of bumping on that possession. And finally the whistle.
So that was a call that didn't affect the play. And that was also a call we have Pine Bluff with 8 fouls and Oklahoma only with 4.
Fair enough.
The officials know that.
Well, fall away that splashes home for Payton.
Yeah, he's got a nice game. He's certainly going to be a very good piece as this team continues to get better.
At the 8-minute mark, it's the Sooners by 10. Xavier Brown, one-on-one against Hayes, blows by and scores, and a foul.
That's the guy right there. When you're trying to close out a game down the stretch, your point guard got to take over, make plays. Here he is, Chad, right here. The St. Joe's transfer from Philly. Philly tough right here. Big bucket for Xavier Brown.
Alcorn State, whom Oklahoma beat here at McCaslin Fieldhouse last year, and then test against Marquette and at Wake Forest.
Well, Coach Moser, they're playing people this year, obviously. You go out to the West to play Gonzaga on Saturday night. Fred's got a good team. I mean, that'll be a tough matchup, tough opportunity for Oklahoma. ORU, new coach Corey Barnett, I saw them against Oklahoma State a week ago, and they really played the Cowboys tough in that first half. Of course, Marquette.
Porter Moser is urging the students to get into it tonight as Williams tries to go to work. Scott dancing, missing, and Pack scrapes it up. Nigel Pack's had a night so far. Forsythe tried to get in on the three-parter. He does. Dayton Forsythe.
Where's that opportunity coming for Forsythe, Chad?
Ball movement.
Ball movement and away from the ball.
Dayton Forsythe drills the 9th made 3 for Oklahoma tonight in 25 tries. The counter 3 attempt, no good by Williams. Scott tried to force it up. It's stripped, but it'll stay right here.
Yeah, there was one of these earlier in the half. Great job by Pack driving to force help. Forsythe slides to the corner and knocks it down. And I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to take people off the bounce and turn the corner. He does. But just take what the defense gives.
2-on-1 here. Forsythe takes it himself. It's more of a pass, I think. Nwankwo couldn't finish it. And finally, Tay Davis says, enough of this. And Williams is fouled on the other end.
Yeah, Charles right there. That's one of the cardinal sins of basketball, trying to save the ball like that under your opponent's goal. There's Forsythe. It almost looked like he was trying to pass it, and then Charles, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. You either gotta, if you can't throw it down at the other end of the floor or to a teammate who's communicated with you, just eat it. Allow your defense to set up on the underneath out of bounds.
Only thing stopping Nigel Pack tonight is fouls. He just picked up his 4th. Araceni has 4 for Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Nigel Pack going to go to the bench. So it is Reed with Forsythe. Sooners have Koala Talk back in there. Wagee and Reed. Tall lineup for Oklahoma.
Well, Pack hadn't had any issue in terms of foul trouble through the first 2 games. He's had 1 in those 2 contests combined, but yeah, maybe just one of those nights.
Yeah, wrong spot, wrong time. I've experienced that a lot in life.
I've probably experienced that multiple times today.
Reed glides to the window to drop in 2 more.
Boy, when you watch Davis and Reed, you can really see their athleticism and their versatility.
$18-point lead for Oklahoma. Pine Bluff has hung around a good deal of this game. Scott drains one, and then a timeout taken by Solomon Bozeman. Hanging around, trying to give his team a chance to win on the road. And Scott knocking down his 2nd triple of the ball game.
Again, not to keep making the same point, but I think it's important. It still looks like a ball club. They're getting to know each other, and it's the landscape of college basketball now. They're not the only team, but this is not a finished product. But there is offensive firepower, and there are some very good pieces. I think it's going to take a little bit more time.
Reed has that one skip across. There's Davis picking up another rebound. It was stripped away from a talk and then a foul. Collision there. Hayes and Wiggy get tangled up. And Hayes picks up the personal.
That's his 2nd.
That is 10 against the Golden Lions, so the double bonus here from Mo Wagee.
And Xavier Brown checks back in for
Mo Wagee grew up in Mali. It's in junior college, then West Virginia for a year, Alabama on that Final Four team, and this is his 2nd season in Norman. Really grateful, appreciative of the opportunities that he has gotten. Lead back out to 16 now for the Sooners. McGee's got 5 points, 5 rebounds. Double-double tonight for Tay Davis. 13 points, 14 rebounds. And he was leading the Sooners in rebounding coming in. Good touch from Mo Wagee. And the lead is 17. Scott fading and missing. Davis another rebound. Dayton Forsythe. Brown eyeing that 3 ball. They'll take it from deep. There's Wagee bouncing up. Forsythe open 3. Got it. His 3rd. Williams can't convert the other way, but he springs for the rebound and draws a foul.
You know, Forsythe doing a great job of just letting the ball find him. He's a terrific shooter. Here's the miss late in the shot clock. McGee gets a rebound. Great vision right there. And Forsythe's able to move into his 3-point jumper. And the way he shot it the 2nd half, you knew when it left, it would probably go down.
So Dayton Forsythe had a full summer to spend with Porter Moser and Steph. When he was coming in as a freshman out of Dale, Oklahoma, just down the road, he was still playing some summer baseball. And Porter Moser, who himself was a good baseball player growing up, he was told, hey, you can't play baseball if you're going to come to college and play here. And he said, I'm sympathetic to that. I wanted Dayton to go ahead and play baseball, you know, put that part of his life away and then start playing basketball. So he was a little late arriving last summer. This year, full summer. And you're seeing the results of it here.
Well, he's really played well here in the 2nd half.
Davis Another kick out three ball. Forsythe. And a foul. One that Porter Moser would rather not have had committed there. As he has a chat here with Jeff Walkwo, and we'll go to the other end for free throws. We look at the SEC, and what a tough road it's going to be. So all 9 SEC teams that play in Norman at Lloyd Noble Center against Oklahoma made the NCAA tournament last year. Everybody from the SEC that Porter Moser plays at home made the SEC. But, of course, when you've got 14 teams getting into the NCAA tournament, you know, it's kind of a numbers game, so to speak.
I was going to say just about everybody made it anyway.
SEC 7 teams to the Sweet 16, 4 to the Elite 8, 2 Final Fours, and, of course, the national champions, Florida. Florida's in action tonight, by the way. Just kind of looking at some of those scores. Got Kentucky and Louisville. Louisville's got an 18-point lead on Kentucky. And then that Florida State game, the defending champions win by 2, 78-76.
Yeah, one of those rivalry games. You know, it's funny, you were talking about the SEC having 14 teams in a year ago. And you and I joked, and I know other people as well, with Coach Moser. They went from, Oklahoma did, from the best league in the country, the Big 12 the previous year, to the best league in the country, which was the SEC a season ago.
Yeah, Porter Moser has said it. This is 5 years in a row he's played in the toughest league in the country. He's the only coach in the country. Nice double clutch, and Brown puts one in.
Yeah, I like, you know, we mentioned that he could be more assertive, and I love that down the stretch he understands that's important for him to do.
Williams run out for Brown, attacking and scoring again. 82-62, and Porter Moser takes a Sooner timeout with 4:03 remaining, and his team now up 20. Oklahoma starting to pull away here at McCaslin Fieldhouse. They're going to talk it over during the break. 3 of them have 15 apiece, including Dayton Forsythe, who has made 3 of 6 from three-point range.
Yeah, and all 3 threes coming into
that they do. Just down the road, I-40. That's where Dayton Forsythe is from. He's cooling it right now over on the bench. Timeout here with 4 minutes to go. Porter Moser was focused in that huddle. A message to finish this game. Is that what this is about?
You want it to be clean. You want it to be sound at both ends. Solid defensively. You know, no second chance opportunities. And then on the offensive end, you know, take care of it and finish the right way.
Turning over his left shoulder again. Scott knocks down another. You can see why he is going to be a handful in the SWAC.
Yeah, and for the most part, with the exception of, you know, maybe 2 possessions, Oklahoma has made him play 10 to 14 feet away from the basket. That right there was just a tough shot, but well guarded.
It's been a tough 14 points for him tonight, and Solomon Bozeman and his staff feel like he's got a chance to be the best forward in the SWAC this year. Brown, one more time to the free throw line. He drew the bump from Williams. You can sense that Brown knows closing time and when it's his time to have the ball in his hands and be the primary playmaker and distributor, right?
Yeah, that's, your point guards at this level. I mean, they're your closers, your guard group, those guys out front. And we talked in the open about he and Pack. And you asked me a question, like you always ask great questions.
Why, thank you.
You know, what is their strength? What's Brown's strength? That's his experience. So you're seeing him. He's obviously a good player, and the skill set and all the things are there. But he knows what to do right now.
Tough night for Williams. Has it taken away by Walkwo. Under 3 to go, 20-point lead. Remember, UAPB led 9 minutes into the game. They cut the Oklahoma lead at 1 point down to 6 here in the second half. But the Sooners are pulled away. 5 to shoot. Reed finds some room, and he finds another bucket.
Yeah, and that's just a tough matchup for Miracini right there. Giving up a lot of height, a lot of weight.
Williams trying to step through and get another shot here for Scott, but it's stolen. Brown, fitting. What can Brown do for you? How about a scoop and score?
Timeout called by Arkansas by Bluff.
And Solomon Bozeman takes a timeout on the UAPB sideline. Not happy with what's transpired, and this is a reset, refocus moment for him and his team. Just basically let his guys sit over there and think for a moment about making better choices down the home stretch. Teachable moments. That's what trips like this are about for a team like Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Well, look, hey, they hung around for a very long time. And they kept Oklahoma out of rhythm most of the night.
Miracini steps back and fires. Inside, Hayes gets a pass to lay it in.
Passing by Jason Hayes.
Hayes' dad, Josh, played at Ole Miss when Solomon Bozeman's dad, Eric, was an assistant at Ole Miss. They got a long relationship between their families. A couple of free throws coming here for Darion Reed.
Kyle Brown, number 24. That's his second personal foul.
Darion Reed was on that Elite Eight Alabama team of a season ago. Missed 13 games with injury and
He's got 2 shots.
was a McDonald's All-American coming out of high school. This place went quiet. I didn't know that they knew how to be quiet in this arena.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was getting ready to say something, but I was thrown off by the silence.
Sometimes silence can be deafening, Brendan.
Yes. Well, Reed, good to see him knock those 2 down. Number 11 in ESPN top players a couple of years ago. Coach Moser says he's continuing to improve offensively. I think we've seen some of that here tonight.
First appearance of the season for the walk-on from Oklahoma City, Reed Lovelace for the Sooners with about 1:15 to go. Oklahoma bouncing back from their loss against Gonzaga over the weekend. They'll get back in the win column. There's Reed Lovelace. Crossings High School up in Oklahoma City.
I saw him play in high school a couple of times. He could score.
He was frequently coming off the bench with Porter Moser's son, Jake, for the last 3 years here in Norman. Jake has graduated. Another free throw coming here for Milan Charles. Oklahoma's also got Kai Rogers, the freshman, back in there. One minute to go. I think the students have had a good time tonight, and that's what this game is all about. Let the students come and enjoy, and they will come back. Jeff Wonkwo with a kick out. Lovelace, corner 3. Got it! Reed Lovelace, first shot of the year. Pure. One more trip to the foul line and one more chance to enjoy sweet string music.
I told you, he could score in high school. I mean, he shot like that, like he has been in for the last 3 or 4 minutes, is in good rhythm.
Good to see these guys that mean so much, in particular scout team. I mean, you go up to a shoot around and these guys are putting in the work. They are the opposition and they don't enter games all that much, but it's nice to see them taste a little game time and score. He's shooting 1,000. I don't think I'd shoot again. About 8 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Closing this one out. That one blocked. Right to Rogers, and Nwankwo lays it in. And Lovelace steals the inbound. A loose change underneath, picked up by Pine Bluff. What'd you think overall? Oklahoma back in the win column, Brendan.
Well, I thought when they got down and defended in the half court, contained, and that's when they looked the best. Took a while to break Pine Bluff, but they did. We got some good performances out of guys you're going to need to continue to get it better, like Davis and Reed. You know, Pack was hot. Brown closed it out. This team will be fine. I mean, they're a work in progress, but the talent is certainly there, and obviously Porter Moser knows how to coach both ends of the floor.
5 Sooners in double figures. Leading the way, Xavier Brown, who had 19. A double-double tonight for Tate Davis. He adds 15 rebounds to his 13 points. Nigel Pack made 5 of 7 threes. Dayton Forsyth made 3 threes. And Oklahoma gets the victory 95-69 over the Golden Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm going to visit here in a moment with Tate Davis.